Hello? Oh my goodness. I hope this is working. Oh my gosh. Like nobody told me last time I was live I had no audio from my mic the entire time. Wait, how did no one tell you? What? Oh my goodness. Wait, that's terrible. No one telling you that you had no audio from your mic is terrible. Oh my goodness. What the fuck? Oh my god. Why would they do that? Guys, why would you betray Peachy like that? We see you. Muted? No. We missed you. I missed the royal we. I missed you guys too. We've been scuffed in your place. Lev, yeah, it infected us. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I like infected you guys with my scuff. Hey, yo. Master Moptimus. Hello. Thank you for your first time chat. Oh, Optimus like Optimus Prime. Egg. You got any pens? Yes. I have many pens. I was going to talk about them. I have my... Wait. I don't know if you can hear this. Can you hear that? Maybe you can't hear it. When are you going to play games with us again? Soon, I hope. I mean, so right now I started my new job, which is like Monday through Friday, during normal person work hours. And that's okay. I was already infected with 6-7. You guys get this for 6 seconds. Hello, mother. How was post-residency? Post-residency is weird. Post-residency is really, really weird. Yeah, like, I don't know. It's strange being by myself and being like independent. I don't know. And it's also like really different from residency. Not even funny anymore. Thanks, Rosie. Hi, Blue. Hi, everybody. Oh, I'm glad everyone came on. It means so much to me. I know I've been really busy and just like totally like gone. Just disappeared. Just fully gone. Fully just not present whatsoever. Oh, thank you for the reminder to hydrate myself. I will hydrate myself. Why did you like my post about me hurting my foot? I'm gonna lurk and draw now. Ooh, okay. Congratulations. Have fun. Please draw. I'm honestly, I say congratulations because I'm just like, congrats on having the time to work on your hobbies. Yes. So anyways, for anyone, are you still 3 apples tall? I don't know. I don't think I was ever 3 apples tall, just to be clear. It's been 10,000 years. It's been 84 years. Of course she is. I am not 3 apples tall. I've never been 3 apples tall. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Okay. This is just like slander and lies, as usual, as per usual. Who is this person? Seems familiar, but it's been so long I can't remember. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Do I need to like, wait, where's my stuff? Where's my thing? Aha. Aha. There we go. I'm sorry. Wee. Does this still work? There we go. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I was gone for so long. Okay, I'm sorry. I missed you so much. RB, hi. Okay, that was meant to look excited, but I just look sad. 1 second. Okay, there we go. I have returned back to normal. Okay, anyways. A single apple has been thrown at my face. I'm being attacked. That's what's happening. They're shouting. Sorry, that's a 24 reference. My husband, for whatever reason, has very strange taste in television, and he loves like randomly kind of he's not listening. Kind of trashy stuff. like he has intense love for like filmic stuff, like The Godfather or Breaking Bad or Mad Men, and then he's also like, and I love Supernatural and 24. Thank you for the hydration reminder. But yes, welcome back. Anyone who is here, welcome, welcome, welcome. Wait, Lev, what you using for multi-stream? You got the bot and everything. Slime, wait, what do you mean? What do you mean? Oh, you mean my bot that translates the messages back and forth? Because that took a little bit to set up, but it was really fun. And I'm glad that it's working pretty consistently. I don't know. I almost forgot how I set it up, and I'm just like, please don't break. I use StreamerBot. I really do want to write like an article or something, like a how-to for like a lot of my StreamerBot setup stuff, because I feel like people will find it interesting. But yeah, no, so I have it set up so that I have like two bots. I have my main Twitch and YouTube accounts, and then I have a bot Twitch and a bot YouTube account, and you connect the streamer bot to both, and then you can set up a script that automatically takes any messages from Twitch and sends it to YouTube, and automatically takes any comments from YouTube and sends it to Twitch. Yeah. I'm amazed Lev knows how to stream anymore. That puts chat across. Yeah. So I have Sakubot 1 and Sakubot 2, Sakubot Twitch, Sakubot YouTube edition. Yes. The only key thing is like putting in, you have to like do some sort of, it's not programming, it's like regex, rejects, whatever, so that it doesn't like put itself into an infinite loop of bot chats, because it did that at first and it was difficult to manage. But yeah, you can do it in StreamerBot, and it's free. StreamerBot is completely free. Is that why messages seem to take a long time to show up? You mean to get translated across, or just generally? Or like on screen? Because there might be lag in terms of when messages show up on screen and when I'm able to read them. Sometimes there's like pretty bad lag between when you guys see what I'm saying and when I see what you're saying, and then when you see that I've seen what you've sent. Does that make sense? I think that's just normal delay. Yes, what Blue said. Lev, I get a pumpkin cheesecake for my birthday this year. Wait, speaking of pumpkin cheesecake, oh my god, that was like one of the first things that I ever learned how to make when I was in college. I followed an Alton Brown recipe for pumpkin cheesecake, and I was so extra with it. Like, he has this whole thing where he talks about how pumpkin, like, cheesecake is basically just pie, right? It's basically cheesecake, yeah, like baked cheesecake, okay? Not like cream cheese and other shit, put it in the freezer cheesecake. That's different. Like, a baked cheesecake is basically like a pie or like a custard, you know, in a lot of ways, right? Because it's you have to cook it. Anyways, it involved a steam bath. Like, I sauna-ified, I steamed my pumpkin cheesecake. It was delicious, but also like it took so much effort. I think I burned myself multiple times, because it involves like putting hot water into a pan and then putting your circle pan of the cheesecake into the tin of water, but it has to be like water, because obviously you don't want your cheesecake to get like soggy, so it has to be like watertight. So I had to cover the whole bottom of my spring form in like aluminum foil. Anyways, it took forever. I burned myself because water is heavy and I forgot how heavy water would be, and I took the pan out with a bunch of hot water in it because I was steaming my cheesecake and hurt myself. So it was great. But the cheesecake itself was really delicious. Is cheesecake convergent evolution to pie or taxonomically a pie? I mean, I guess it depends on your definition of pie, right? But it's like, pie is like carby crust with filling, a sweet filling that gets cooked, right? I'm lost now. I got lost and Lev said she hurt herself a few times. Okay, so recap. Kimi's getting a pumpkin cheesecake for birthday, okay? That made me think about the time that I made a pumpkin cheesecake, which involved putting the pan with the cheesecake into a larger pan full of water so that it would steam. And that involved a lot of hot water in a very large rectangle pan that I then took out of the oven, but I had no forearm strength because I'm weak and I just didn't train my forearms, and then I hurt myself because boiling water. Yep, I stopped listening. Rude. Okay then. Well, if you don't want to listen, you can just go. Yeah, so if also related to that, I got sick. Guys, I got sick and it was the worst thing ever. I'm like wondering if I got COVID again or something. You know what's funny? Slime, you redeemed this and I actually totally forgot what this is. What is this? Okay, this is like my new ASMR-y thing. Random, your voice is so nice that you could tell me to take part in an exploitative new drug test and I'll listen 5% of the time. Only 5%? So my voice isn't that nice, is what you're saying. Like it's not that nice. It's just like pretty nice. What is happening? Why is this doing this? It probably was COVID. I got COVID last month. Normally, I'd only be convinced 0% of the time, so that's a lot. I suppose that's true. Have you updated your vehicle's warranty? Hello. This is Barbara with Enterprise Services Limited, and I'm calling about your vehicle's expired warranty. It's really important that you maintain the warranty for your vehicle. What could happen if you got into a horrible car accident and then you'd have to pay for it yourself? If you renew your warranty, you get to pay for the warranty and still pay for it yourself. Lev casually ignoring the Valley Girl redeem. Oh wait, shit, there was a Valley Girl redeem. Oh, oops. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Oh my god, I'm like so stupid. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you for showing it to... Thank you for bringing it to my attention again. Oh my god, that's like so nice of you. God, I hate myself. I'm gonna punch myself in the face. Ooh. 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 Ba, 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 ba. Okay, so as promised, we are catching up. So catch up wise, I got sick. It sucked. I like couldn't breathe. I was snoring, which also sucked. I hate snoring because it just, I can feel it. Valley Girls live dying on mic. I know, literally. I'm dying on this microphone. The V in VTuber is Valley. No. No, the V in VTuber is for velocity. velocity is distance over time, and then momentum is speed times mass. Yeah, velocity times mass. God, I don't remember physics anymore. I'm sorry. I'm a bad science communicator. I don't know anything about science. Someone play the vector clip. No. Oh my god. The V in VTuber is for very, very, very cute. Yes. Very virtuoso. Yes. Oh god, what just happened? Oh, okay, it's raining now. I see how it is. You know, I really need to change it so that like the lighting also changes. Everyone, this is why Lev is a doctor and not a physicist. See, this is the thing. Physicist, physiatrist, and psychiatrist all sound very similar, and they are extremely different. They are extremely different. A psychiatrist is closer to a psychologist than they are to a physiatrist, you know? But yeah, physiatrists are like, they're physical medicine and rehabilitation doctors. So they like do physical therapy, and they do other stuff, obviously, but like that's, if you want to think about it, they're like the MD physical therapist. I never got to mention it to you, but the model gacha is broke. Oh. Okay, I will fix it. Or I will mess with it and hopefully fix it. We shall see. I'm like, English, it makes no sense. This is true. English is very confusing, especially like considering how many different influences we have. Like, for example, I think one of the things that's really funny is how many words we have that are the same words for different things, but they are totally different, obviously, because it's either like Greek or Latin in origin. Like, for example, like kidneys, for example. Kidneys are the renal system, and the gland that is above the kidney is the adrenal, as in above kidney, the adrenals. And colloquially, we call one of the hormones that the adrenal gland like secretes adrenaline, right? However, there's another word for kidney. It's nephron. So that's where the term for kidney doctor comes from, nephrology, and also where the term epinephrine comes from, because epi as in above, nephrin, the kidney, which is also the same thing as adrenaline. Epinephrine and adrenaline are the same thing. Why do we have two words for that both mean the thing that comes from the thing that's above the kidney? I don't know. It's very funny to me that like the etymology of those words are very similar in terms of like what they actually mean, but then why do we have two? That's my question. Why are there two? Oh, anyways. How does it feel to be 1 year old, Unk? It feels weird. My technical like debut anniversary is in 3 days. It's August 12th. I will never forget that. I don't know, like, I will forget many things in my life. I probably will never forget like my debut day, which feels so long ago now. It feels like ages and ages and ages ago now. But yeah, it feels weird. It feels really weird. Like, it feels like such a part of my life now, like being a streamer-ish, I guess. But then like, I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting because I sort of started this like being a streamer because I wanted to let myself do things that I wanted instead of focusing only on things that I think that I should do or that I should want. Oh, beam Thank you so much for the 9 months. Have you got your first yet? Oh, fountain pens. Yes. Yes. I have too many. I currently have, I have them all here with me. Because I bought a lot. Because I bought one and then I wanted more than one. And then I got like 4 more because they were Kakuno pens. And so they're like $10. I know I shouldn't get pens from Amazon. And I typically don't, but I just wanted to try to see if I would like fountain pens. And so then I ended up buying some of the like knockoff Amazon fountain pens. So I currently have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 10 fountain pens, but they were all like $10, $15, $20, you know? And to be fair, I'm getting back into fountain pens. Like I've always liked fountain pens. You know, I bought the Pilot Preppy, like just like single-use pens way back in the day, like when I was in college, to use with the Hobonichi, like the daily planner thing. I don't know why I did that, because my handwriting wasn't very good and I used a very thick tip, even though I don't like thick nibs. So yeah, it wasn't that fun. So then it turned me off of fountain pens. But then recently I've gotten back into planning again because, you know, my life is getting a little bit more hectic because I have a job now that's like a real like full-time job kind of job. And it's the kind, I keep saying job, it doesn't sound like a word anymore, but like, you know, when you, I don't know if anyone else will relate to this. Yo, what up, Levy Devi? Hi, Zah. I'm good. What up with you? It's good to see you again. Oshi has returned. Yes, Oshi has returned. Okay. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I got back into planning, right? Because here's the thing. I don't know if any occupation. Okay, I don't know if any of you guys are like productivity nerds or like planner nerds or things like that. Like these communities are fascinating to me, by the way. Like the fact that there's some people out there that are so into like planning and stationery that they would go to like planner conferences exist. You know, like, you know how, you know, we have like Offkai, right? We have like VTuber conventions, there's anime conventions, comic conventions, there's planner conventions, there's stationery conventions. The stationery fest that's done by what they're called, Yosaka Stationery in New York City is like just happened or is happening. I think it's this weekend, which like is a whole other world to me. However, in the last couple of weeks I've gotten so like head first back into like planning and stationery and bullet journaling and that whole like community that I used to be a part of when I was in college. And I get it. I kind of get it. I don't know that I would ever go to a planning convention because there's only so many planners a person can use, right? Like I don't know how many, like I would like to have one planner and then maybe other like journals and stuff, but like one planner, you know? Anyways, so all that being said, like way back in the day when I was in college, when I was more of a student, I've been a student for so long. I've been a student for way too long in my life. And at that time, I really wanted to feel like I was like in control of my life, which means that I ended up getting really into like productivity people and like planning stuff and all of those videos that are like, here's your bullet journal and all these things that you can plan and like time block your day and, you know, this and that and the other. The problem is that a lot of the planning and productivity advice out there is for people who live a life, like it's for the life that person lives, right? And I guess I didn't really relate to other people who were students because my life was very different. Like my life was different from like typical student people, but also different from people who had a job, right? And so like neither group of people had a similar enough life to me that their solutions for productivity were actually helpful. And so then I would keep trying to like make up things to plan so that I could plan them and then make lists of things that I didn't actually need to make lists of, just so that I could say that I made a list of things and checked it off and then feel productive. Does that even make any sense? So anyways, all that is to say, now I actually have just like a normal person job. You know, I'm not like half student, half employee, Schrodinger's student employee, you know? So because I'm like actually just working a normal job and like I have nothing else to do with my life except be a worker, I actually have like a normal life to plan. Is this performative planning? That's what I did though in college and also in some parts of residency. Like literally I would because like, so for example, when you're a resident, your schedule is not in your own hands, right? First, like your schedule's not in your own hands. When you're working inpatient, as in when you're working inside of the hospital, like you can't plan for what your day is gonna look like. You're always reacting to things, right? And so then I would end up in this like strange circular thing of like, let me plan a day that I like actually cannot plan because I don't know the things that I'm going to have to do until like they happen, right? Like if I'm consulting in the emergency department, I can't like plan for the patients I'm going to see. I don't know how many people I'm going to see. I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe nothing happens. Maybe I get like 6 consults, and that's not that many for most other specialties, but for psychiatry, like a consult can take like 2 hours. Okay, so it's like, it is a lot for me. Maybe I get 6 consults on my like call shift and I'm like, oh my God, I'm drowning, right? I can't plan for that, but then I would try to anyway. And then I would record the ways that things were different from the plan because of course they were. And then it was just, yeah, performative planning because it felt like I was doing something productive, even though I was just like, it was basically just the planning equivalent of like, I don't know, like building a sandcastle and then knocking it down and then building it again and being like, I made something, you know, it's just spinning your wheels. It felt good, I guess, but it was not helpful. So at some point I think I realized it was not helpful and I gave up like after my first year of residency. But why are you trying to jail Beam? Okay. Me, let's make a plan, still casually ignores it because I have ADHD. This is fair. I also have ADHD. Can you guys tell I'm not medicated today? I like started taking, so I got diagnosed with ADHD a while ago. And I was like, that's great. I can do this on my own because I'm a psychiatrist and I'm an independent woman. And I obviously like all those people who say that, like all those people who say that you can't be your own doctor, obviously that's true for everyone else except for me because I'm special. So I can be my own doctor and try to like therapy myself, because all those people who say you can't be your own therapist are also clearly wrong about me. Maybe about themselves they're right, but they're wrong about me. Like I can be my own therapist. And of course that didn't work. Like obviously that didn't work. And when I say be my own doctor, I don't mean prescribe myself medications. Like that's illegal and I'm not going to do that. But like, or is it actually illegal? I don't know if it's actually illegal, but it's like, you're not supposed to do that. Chaos Gremlin, long time no see. Hello, long time no see. I'm talking about my ADHD journey. So I got diagnosed a while ago because I was like, maybe I do have ADHD. And so then I went to go see a psychologist. Not a psychologist. I did like a actual like test thing, because basically in my head, I was like, because I'm a doctor, because I'm a psychiatrist, I like know what the criteria is for ADHD, right? And also like any person could look up the diagnostic criteria for ADHD. But like as a psychiatrist, I have experience diagnosing ADHD. I know what it looks like. I know what the history sounds like, right? And I was like, if I just go to talk to someone, I could probably be pretty convincing in terms of like saying the right things and bringing up the right memories from my childhood that are real, but I don't know, maybe I'm overemphasizing aspects of my childhood that are like indicative or typical experiences of someone with ADHD, right? Like maybe I'm just lying to myself, and maybe because I'm a psychiatrist, I could like accidentally lie to myself so well that I trick someone else into misdiagnosing me with ADHD when I don't have it. So, in any case, what was I trying to say? Oh yeah. So then I went to get like a more like diagnostic test. It's expensive though. It was like a couple $100. So I'm not saying that anyone else needs to do that, but I got like neuropsych testing done, which involves both like the talking part, but then also like it was like a computer test where basically it was like the most boring thing in the world. Oh my god. It was this thing that was like, we're going to be recording how much you like move and fidget and your eye, like track your like eye movements and track how long it takes you to answer these questions. And then like there was one part that was like a sustained attention thing, which was like hit the space bar every time the shape changes into a shape that is different from the shape that was two shapes before, or something like that. And basically it was like based on like how fast you responded and how many you got wrong and what kinds of mistakes you made. It there's some data in terms of like what's associated with ADHD. And obviously it's like there's no test. There's no 100% test. Even that is not 100% correct. But I was like, with all of that, I was like, okay, like if there's just something I can't really fake, you know, because I didn't actually know how that test worked. I was like, I'm not going to look out how this works and how it diagnoses ADHD. I'm just gonna do it. And yeah, it was boring. It was so boring. I wanted to tear my hair out the entire time I was doing it. But then the person who was administering it like talked to me and was like, yeah, no, you should try a stimulant. You should see. And so now I don't get into car crashes anymore. So that's fun. I like that. My husband doesn't like grip the size of his chair for dear life and go like, oh my god, Lev, are you going to brake? Like, please brake. Like, please. Do you see that there is a car that is stopped? And I'm like, I saw it. I was just, I hadn't gotten to the braking part yet. Don't worry about it. So yeah, I'm a better driver now because I'm on stimulants, and also like it's easier to focus. The fun thing about being on stimulants as like a person with ADHD is that you sort of realize like the first week that you're on it, if it's working for you. The first week that I was on it, I was like, maybe it's working, or maybe I'm just like really disciplined. Maybe I've just finally figured out how to not be a lazy piece of shit. And then I was like, oh wait, maybe I was never a lazy piece of shit, and maybe it was like the stimulant actually like helps. But like for some, you want to believe that like it's like a personal failing that you've conquered through sheer force of will. I have some questions I need to answer. Hello, Tree Lady, how is your day? Hello, sir. My day so far has been good. I'm here with you guys, so it's very good. Is it true, Lev? ADHD can go away because a small percentage of adults have it. I mean, so like this is the thing with any psychiatric thing. There are basically 0 psychiatric diagnoses that we have 100% identified all of the biologic like reasons for it, right? A lot of our diagnoses are like, if it looks like this, and this, like we think that's usually the same kind of thing, and we think that's usually treated in this way, and we think it's usually because of this process, but also probably other things, right? So we don't 100% know. It wouldn't be super surprising if for some people, especially if you get treated, and if you learn like coping mechanisms and stuff like, oh my god, okay, and you learn coping mechanisms and stuff like that, that if you have something that looks more like ADHD as a kid, that it like gets better as you get older. One thing I have noticed too is that this is true for me, and I wanted to do some research on if it's true for other people with ADHD, but I don't take my stimulants every day. I just take a long-acting, like low-dose long-acting stimulant, and I feel like my ability to focus has gotten better even on days when I'm not taking my stimulant, because I think my brain has gotten more used to like what it even feels like to focus on one thing for an extended period of time. And like the more you do it, the easier it gets. Like there's ways to improve your focus and your attention without taking stimulants, right? And the thing with stimulants is that even if you don't have ADHD, it will make you focus more. Maybe not in like the best way, but it will make you focus more. Yeah, it's a fluctuating thing. Let's see. Is it true that our brain tends to overwrite a bit of the memories as time passes? Okay. It's not time that passes. Basically, your brain is like, how do I put this? Okay. If you think of your memories in terms of like how our memories change over time, right? If you think of your memories like a filing cabinet of files, right? Every time you remember a memory, your brain pulls that thing out of the filing cabinet, kind of half looks at that, and then is copying it onto a new piece of paper, right? It takes the paper that has your memory on it, is like, has that like on two monitors. It's like on one monitor is the memory that it's pulled, and on another monitor it's like rewriting it, right? It's trying to copy it, but it is rewriting it, and it's not going to be 100% the same. And then it throws away the old one and puts the new one back. Okay, so this is why the more you remember something, the more it changes. Every time you remember a memory, like an episodic memory of an event that happened in your life, you're rewriting it. Like the act of remembering it rewrites it, right? And the way that you remember through, like for example, this is how we think about like how traumatic memories kind of get processed, right? It's like, imagine, for example, that you had, this is why for people who have social anxiety, going over embarrassing memories over and over and over again just honestly often gets worse, right? Because you'll have a kind of like neutral memory that's like, this thing happened and maybe it was a little bit embarrassing, right? But then you tend towards like being like, maybe something really embarrassing happens in your life, and then you remember the thing that happened in the past while in the context, the emotional context of being embarrassed and feeling like, oh, I'm terrible and I'm so embarrassing. And so you remember the memory through the lens of, I'm trying to figure out all of the ways that I'm like an embarrassing person. And so when you rewrite the memory and like kind of save it back again into your memory, it saves with more emphasis on like the embarrassing parts, because that's how you re-remembered it. And then that continues. Is PTSD memory the same as traumatic memory? Yeah. That's the theory behind like EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. The theory, one of the theories behind how it helps with PTSD is that it's about like encoding traumatic memories in a less traumatic way. That's why I write my core memories or something meaningful to me. Yeah, no, this is why like journaling is helpful, right? Because, this is why recording things is helpful, because your memory is faulty. That's just the way humans work. Like we could not survive as human beings if we remembered everything with crystal clear clarity and it never changed over time. Like it's actually probably advantageous for us that we don't remember things completely perfectly. I get that when I took my ADHD meds, it was weird because all the background voices yapping, shut the fuck up, it was weird. Like not voices, like half processed and unprompted thoughts making noise. Yeah, no, it does feel more quiet for a lot of people. I don't know. This is the thing too. I don't totally 100% relate because I don't have an internal monologue. But like, I think my brain definitely was like less restless. It's less restless with stimulants. I also think journaling helps you to process your life events and how they make you feel. Yes, I agree. Okay, what just happened? Okay, I don't know what that was about. All right, well, I had a disembodied voice for a second there. In any case, yes, I think journaling really does help you to process like stuff. Because this is the thing with human beings. We are like, our subconscious is deep. You know what I mean? Like, our brains do so much outside of our conscious awareness. You know, our consciousness, like our like conscious, intentional, deliberate self is aware of so little. You know what I mean? Like there's so much like processing and stuff happening. I feel like my V bridger is like kind of like delayed for some reason. Actually, funny thing. What is happening? Hello? Oh my god. Okay, I don't know why my like VBridger and VTube Studio just fucking hate me for some reason. Okay, anyways. I just had a memory of my favorite mango plant getting dead from disease. Oh god, I'm sorry. And I wrote it in a diary. When I remembered it, it's a bit different from the diary. Exactly. Yeah. No, that happens. I think that's really, I personally think it's a really interesting thing that like, this is why like there's a lot of controversy around the idea of repressed memories and like bringing back memories, like resurfacing memories, because I don't think it's impossible. I think it's definitely like, honestly, when it comes to the human experience, I don't think anything really is impossible. When people talk about like, oh, I had some weird experience with my brain, like my brain did some weird thing, I'm like, sure, brains are fucking crazy. I don't know. So I'm not saying that no one has ever, because I don't think that's true, had like memories be repressed and then brought back through therapy. I think that's definitely happened. But like, I also think that some people think that they had a repressed memory brought back and it was a false memory, because we have done that. Like we're able to generate false memories in people. Do you know, it's like actually really easy. It's actually really, really easy. Like so easy. So like here's an like this is the thing, is that our sense of reality and our sense of our memory is so based on like other people, right? So the easiest way to implant a false memory into someone is just like have a piece of like physical evidence that seems real-ish and then have a couple of people say that it happened, and then you'll generate a memory. Like there were studies on this. I think it was like a hot air balloon was one of the studies where basically like they brought someone in and then were like, at some point in the conversation, sort of they had their family members or their friends or someone start talking about how like, remember that time we like went on a hot air balloon together? Look, there's this picture. We went on this hot air balloon together and like, this was like during blah, blah, blah. And it never happened, like definitively had never happened. And then at some point in the conversation, the person starts generating their own stuff. Like it's not just, oh, I guess maybe that happened. It's, oh yeah, I remember. And you said something about blah, blah, blah. And I remember the feeling of the air. And I remember being really scared. Like, yeah, I totally remember that. Like they're generating their own experience of it because our brains are really bad at like completely accurate one-to-one memory. It's just not how we're built. Hi, I just came across a stream, found it very interesting. Please keep talking about psychology stuff. Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm a psychiatrist. Sorry, I might have buried the lead. The lead being I am a doctor and I am a psychiatry doctor. So, yes. At a crime scene, they say to have people not talk to each other because it can skew the evidence. Yes, exactly. Exactly. I mean, that's why when you like interview people for information, you do it separately. Because just hearing someone else's recounting of events will impact your memory of that event. Devil Blade 666 asks about how to deal with PTSD. That is a question for your psychiatrist, but it sounds like what you're describing is like intrusive thoughts and re-experiencing symptoms, and that's the way that I would describe it. Yeah. So it sounds like treatment for PTSD would be helpful for you, because that sounds like very classic. Not on topic. Do you think doctors have attachments of spirits because of the deaths in a hospital? I don't know. I don't think so. OMG, you're a doctor? Yeah, slime. Oh my god. I don't even know. What is this? What is this clip? I don't remember this clip. Remind Lev what? Remind Lev. I don't, what is this clip? I don't know this clip. I don't know. You know what? I'm leaving that. I'm not even gonna look at it. You are a doctor? Yeah, I am. Supernatural spirits? I guess that's like if you're spiritual or not. Yeah, I don't really see myself as... I don't know about like there being spirits for most doctors. Am I going to say that I think we understand everything about life and death and like the afterlife and all those things? No, because I've definitely like... There's things that medicine can't fully explain that I think everyone kind of acknowledges as true, right? Like the last bit of lucidity before someone dies, like that definitely happens. Like weird coincidences around when people pass, I've seen that happen also. But like being a doctor myself and having worked in a lot of hospitals and having spent a lot of time with people who have also spent a lot of time in hospitals and also just spent time with normal people, like I feel like if anyone's getting like bad like spirits attached to them because they're around when they die, I don't think it's happening that often. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't think it's happening that often. That's what I would say. What if life is just an illusion? Well, that's like one of the earliest philosophical things. Yes. Lev, you see those clips of cats in hospitals where cats lie next to people who are about to pass? Yeah. I don't know if I've seen the clips exactly, but I've definitely like heard of that or similar things. Yeah, that's not like uncommon. Okay, I totally like am not doing what I said I was going to do, which is to talk about my latest obsessions. So I was talking about planning, and I started talking about ADHD. Is it true that people replay their life in their head before they die? I don't know. Actually, I think it's probably like one of those things that's true for some people, but not true for everyone. Cause like ultimately we will never know what it's like in the seconds before someone dies permanently, because by definition, they're not able to communicate with us after that. So I don't know, but there are people who have very, 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 very close to experiencing death, like permanent death, and have like based on some definition, like almost died, like their heart stopped for a long time or they stopped breathing for a long time. And some people do say like, oh, I saw my life flash before my eyes, and other people were like, oh, I don't know, nothing really happened, it just felt nice, calm, peaceful. You know, this is what I will say is like reassuring to me, is that people I've talked to who've gotten to like the brink of death or basically died and then been resuscitated, no one has ever said that like being dead felt awful. or that it was scary in some way, you know? Generally, what people say is that it's very peaceful. It's peaceful and calm and nice, you know, in that way. So it helps me be less scared of dying, even though I don't want to die. If life is a simulation, whoever plays me is boring as hell. Well, if life is a simulation, it's possible that no one's playing you, that you are just a self-conscious, like, computer program. Right? It's not a video game. We're NPCs. I remember someone saying the graveyard should be the most safe place from being haunted because people haunt where they died. I mean, I feel like the logic of haunting that makes sense to me is that people haunt like the people or the things or the places that are like unresolved, you know, like there's something unresolved. This is maybe like a very like Chinese cultivation novel type way of thinking about it, but that makes sense to me. Worst thing with death for me is all the wasted potential with doing art, life slaving for the boss man instead of pursuing art to the fullest. I cry while wiping my tears with my money. I mean, this is true, but I think the beauty of life comes from the scarcity of it, right? I think if we had infinite time, it would be kind of meaningless. Right? Because like, if how do I put this? If you have infinite time, then the choices that you make with your time, the things that you decide to do with your life, those choices have become much less meaningful because you're not sacrificing anything, right? Are there any interesting stories working as a psychiatrist? Oh, many interesting stories. It depends on what you're talking about, though. There's some stories I can't share, obviously. Time is a resource. It's like having infinite money. Yes, exactly. Do we only think that because we don't have infinite time? I mean, as Poussin is very rightfully saying, there are people who maybe don't have, I don't think anyone has infinite time, right? But there are people who are pretty much very close to having infinite money. And what I will say is their lives don't seem to be more meaningful because of that, even though they could buy so many things. And honestly, I would argue that the closer to infinite money you have, the less meaningful any purchase you ever make with your life, like in your life, actually becomes, right? And this is what we mean when we say money can't buy happiness. Because like, I don't know, man. None of these extremely rich people seem happy to me. They just don't strike me as happy people. What if I'm immortal? Like, to be fair, no one has saw me die and I've never died before. That's true. You never know. You could be the first human in history to live forever that we know of. What makes life meaningful? I think that's a question for every single person to answer for themselves. Nah, money can buy happiness. They just buying the wrong stuff. No. Well, okay, but here's the thing. Like, I feel like for humans, I think that any person who's truly happy, well, no, okay, need to buy an oversized lollipop and a propeller hat. I mean, that will buy you joy or hedonistic pleasure. It's different, you know? I think happiness, like true happiness, is like feeling like you've have meaning in your life, right? That you've led a meaningful life, or that you create meaning for other people, or you're meaningful and fulfilling, or something like that, right? And like, I don't think that's something you can buy. I think you can spend a lot of money and it won't make it more likely for you to have meaningful relationships. Money can solve 90% of the problems that keep me from being happy. No, that's definitely true. 100% true. You can, like, there's a lot of things that make it hard for us to live fulfilling and meaningful lives that can be solved with money. But money in and of itself can't buy you a meaningful relationship with other people. I've never seen more existentially poor people than the children of really rich people. No, exactly. I was seeing this like really interesting thread on Twitter the other day where someone was talking about how like this is probably their theory as to why children of really like people who grew up really rich are disproportionately likely to get into like, or seem disproportionately likely to get into like endurance sports and like extreme sports and stuff. Like, why do these rich people all want to like climb Mount Everest? You know, why do they all want to like, you know, do ultra marathoning or high rocks or whatever? And it's like, because no, if it's easy, like things that are easy and required no effort are meaningless in a lot of ways, you know. The journey of searching for meaning is in itself part of that meaning. Yeah, exactly. What is the meaning of life? I don't know. It depends on it's everyone has their own definition, you know. And this is part of why I love being a psychiatrist, right? Because I think like, hello Lev, sorry for missing a lot of streams. I've barely been home since May. Hi Rex. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you again. I hope you've been well. Honestly, I get it, you know. I'm so happy that you were able to spend time living your own life. I hope your time away was enjoyable. Yes. But yeah, like I feel like this is why I love being a psychiatrist, because I feel like as a psychiatrist you get to sort of talk about with people and help people with like this, which is the central question, which is like, what does it look like to live a good life? What does it mean to me to live a meaningful life? Please don't tell me you're getting into Warhammer 40k. You'll be broke in no time. I'm sorry. It's too late for me. I'm already into Warhammer. To be fair, I got like dragged into it by my husband. I should actually fulfill like the title of this stream, right, and start talking about Warhammer a little bit. Yeah, so my husband got into Warhammer. I think it was like a weird thing where he got into like, what was it, Witcher, and then from there did Cyberpunk, and then from Cyberpunk did like some of the Cyberpunk board games, which involved miniatures and painting miniatures, and then obviously that gets you directly into Warhammer. Oh, thank you for reminding me to drink water. I do need to do that. Is life inherently worth living? Yes, I think so. I think the fact that we are alive is a beautiful and mysterious thing. Title, so fountain pens, planners, city planning. Yes. Okay, yes. So 40k. So my husband got into miniatures and therefore got into Warhammer, and I came along for the ride, and oh my goodness, I love it's so fun. Like there's just something about a hobby. I've always been a very crafty person. I think every person should have a hobby that involves making something with your hands that requires you to use both hands, so you can't be on a computer or scrolling your phone. You know what I mean? So like painting, knitting, sewing, whatever. So like I like all of those. So like I hand sew because sewing machines are loud and thunky and they scare me. And it's like driving a car. I'm bad at driving, and I'm bad at driving sewing machines. So hand sewing is preferable for me, even though it's slower. So I love hand sewing. I love like mending things, fixing things, making things. I did bookbinding for a little bit before I got like so many paper cuts. I was like, I give up. I might get back into it though, because there's a lot of like really nice printable planners on Etsy and stuff where you can just like, they've already interpolated the books, the book pages, as it were, and you can just print it out, and then you can sew it together, and then you have your own planner that you printed yourself, that you sewed yourself. The problem is I need something to make like the holes, just so, anyways, it's a whole thing. But I think it's important because like being able to make something with your own hands is so like, it's human, it's great, I love it. It doesn't even have to be that good. You're not doing it for anyone else, you're just doing it for yourself, right? So some sort of creative hobby, not to sell, just for yourself, just for fun. You know, I do DIY. Does DIY stuff counts? Yes, I think so. Because I bought like a DIY like purse making thing a while back, and I like sewed a purse by hand, and that was a lot of fun. And now I use that purse, and I get to be like, I made this. Did PC building count? I think so, because you're making something with your hands, and you need to like sit there and think and put it together properly, you know? I think there's even things that are like less crafty that I think also probably count, like making puzzles, you know? Yeah, making puzzles, building puzzles, I mean, woodworking, 3D printing something, I guess, and then like filing it and putting it together, you know? Does playing piano count? I mean, I think playing piano definitely counts as a kind of analog hobby that uses both of your hands. It's more practice than practicing music than it is like creation, but I think, yeah, you get to my like the deeper point, which is something that like is much more likely to require your full attention just because of the way that it is, not because it's so stimulating, you know? It's like this is why, for me, swimming is one of my favorite sports or like ways of exercise, because it's so meditative by nature. Like you are just, it's just you and your own thoughts in the water, you know? I feel like it's like cooking. Started with cooking kits, expanded to more stuff. Yeah, exactly. Honestly, there's no shame in starting out with like anything, you know? I need to find a new crafty hobby to do because I used to do baking, but that's had adverse effects on my health. Honestly, yeah, I get that. I love baking. Baking makes so much more sense to me than like cooking because I'm much more of like a directions person. I need like objective, measurable directions, okay? I need put 2 cups of this into this, and then mix it until it looks like this, right? And then make sure that your oven is this temperature exactly. Use a thermometer, as opposed to like turn your stove onto medium high. What does that mean? Who knows? Because I swear to God, like every time you ask someone, like people who are good at cooking, they like just know what that means in terms of like the vibe. They're like, okay, yeah, the water, if you put water in your pan when it's on this heat, it should look like this. It should do this type of a thing. And I'm just like, I don't know what that is. It should sound like this. I don't know these things yet. It just takes a lot of experience, is what I'm saying. I've gotten better with time. I'm like not a terrible cook. I just need like a lot of directions for a lot of things, but I've gotten better with cooking for sure. And a lot of that is like actually being kind of a nerd about it and being very like, oh, this is the process that's going on in the cooking. This is a Maillard reaction. That's what's happening, which is why I should not try to check how much something is cooking every 4 seconds, because it hasn't browned yet, which means that it's gonna stick to the pan, and it's not because of something's wrong. It just needs to cook. Okay, you need to let it cook, and then you can check, and then it won't stick to the pan. America's Test Kitchen videos are good for technical cooking. Yes. My goat, J. Kenji Lopez Alt. I love his book, A Food Lab. Oh, I hate when they say shit on high or medium or whatever. Lev, you are a nerd. You are being a nerd about it. You're just doing... That's true. You are a nerd. So by definition, you're always being a nerd about it. So that's fair. But yeah, like I feel like what was I saying? I don't know, anything that was, and the other part about analog stuff is like, you get to improve a skill. Yeah, you get to improve a skill, and working on a skill until you get better at the skill, and then seeing the physical, tangible results of getting better at that skill is great. I love that. I think it's fun. Someone said something. Well, a lot of people said something. The discourse on parents forcing hobbies onto children is pretty interesting. Wait, there's discourse about that? I was not aware of this discourse. Forcing hobbies onto children. Like forcing kids to do too many extracurriculars, or like a lot of extracurriculars. I mean, I guess it depends on your definition of forcing, you know? Because I feel like forcing anything onto kids like over much is a problem. You know? Like making a kid learn piano. I mean, I think it's important probably for any person to experience getting better at a skill, and having to get through the part where you're bad at it and it doesn't feel good, and practicing also doesn't really feel that fun because you're not good at it yet, and then eventually getting good at it. Like, I feel like having that experience with something is helpful. It doesn't have to be like piano or gymnastics. It can be video games. But I feel like, you know, learning to overcome the initial resistance and shit feelingness of being bad at something is, I think, good. A good skill to learn. A good experience to have. Oh yeah, ever notice how many artists are also good at singing? Is that true? I mean, I feel like just generally speaking, like artistry is like a translatable skill, you know? Often, not always, but often. Except when the kids never got good at it and hated it forever, aka me. I mean, I feel like I'm saying something. It doesn't have to be whatever it is your parents decided. Rather, oh, the other way around. Didn't get pushed enough. Okay, I think there is a cohort of kids that would rather just stay in and play video games. There's discourse of now adults that wish their parents pushed them harder. This is fair. This is fair. I think this is fair because I think, like, if you abstract it out, like, what is the point of parenthood? Like, what is the point of parenting, right? Like, what do you hope someone to be or get out of being parented by the time that they're an adult, right? And I feel like I feel like ultimately, and I think people agree on this, right? I think ultimately the goal is that, like, by adulthood, you want your kids to be just people, right? Like, you're trying to raise a functional person. And that both means, like, things like morals, like you want them to be a good person, and things like skills, like you want them to be able to, like, do math so they can do finances and know if their boss is cheating them out of their pay or something. And you want them to be able to know how to manage a household and feed themselves and clean themselves and get to work, like all of those skills. But I think it's also like, I think you want them to be able to succeed in the world, right? And unfortunately, I hope this isn't controversial. Unfortunately, the world kind of sucks sometimes, right? Like, life is full of beautiful, beautiful things. Life is also full of pain, right? There are very few constants or very few things that are true. What I can say, and I say this to people all the time, you will experience suffering at some point in your life. You will also experience joy at some point in your life. Both of these things are like basically guaranteed to happen. I don't think there's anyone who's ever experienced a life of 100% suffering with absolutely no glimmer of joy ever. But at the same token, no one has ever experienced a life of 100% joy and easiness and no suffering ever, right? Like, it's like as a more concrete example, most people, I think almost everyone, is not going to live their entire life unblemished, right? Like, no, you're never going to get to the end of your life and like, oh, you've never bled before. You've never experienced physical pain. You've never gotten a burn on your finger. You've never gotten whatever. And that's the same thing for like other areas of life, right? There are parts of life that are going to be hard. You're going to have to do things that you don't want to do. You're going to have to confront someone. You're going to have to argue with someone. You're going to have a disagreement. Something's going to happen that makes you really sad. Something's going to happen that makes you really angry. All of these things are going to happen. And I think part of like one of the big goals of parenting is teaching your kids how to handle that. Like the reality of the world. Not like that the world sucks, but just like how to navigate the world, right? Like, oh, I want to, how do I put this? Part of being happy, in my opinion, is feeling like you've lived a meaningful life and done meaningful things. Unfortunately, living a meaningful life and doing meaningful things is not easy, right? Part of feeling like I've done things that matter. I've formed meaningful relationships, lasting deep bonds, and I've made a difference in other people's lives. That involves like doing things that are not necessarily easy, as in like putting consistent effort into one thing. Succeed in the world is also a problem because succeed is subjective. I think that's the thing though, is like people have different definitions of succeed. And what I mean is like, I think there's things that are related, right? Like having a stable job and being able to like, how do I put this? Like having a job and making money or whatever, like are correlated with succeeding as a person, I guess. But like, I don't know, man. Like if your goal for someone is like, I want you to have like, honestly, okay, if I can put this even simpler. If I ever have a child, right? If I ever have a child, my goal as their parent would be to parent them through their childhood and teenagerhood and young adulthood and like support them into their adulthood and try to set them up for success. Success being that at the end of their life, they look back on their life and think, yeah, that was good. I'm happy with that. I can't say I don't have any regrets, but I'm happy with the life. I'm content with the life that I lived. Like, I think it was a good one. Right? Like, that's my goal for my own life. And that would be my goal for my hypothetical child's life, right? Is that you raise them in such a way that they're able to, they have the ability to develop and maintain a life where at the end of their life, they're like, yeah, that was good. I'm happy with that. And the thing is that for most people, I would argue that that feeling of I lived a meaningful and happy and fulfilling life, I don't know. All I'm saying is that the things that make my life meaningful and happy and fulfilling are not easy, right? Like, becoming a more mature person was not easy. I still have a lot of growing to do as a person, right? Like, something that's made me really happy is this, for example. But doing VTubing, doing streaming, was really hard for me because it's like you have to put yourself out there, right? You have to put yourself out there, you have to expose yourself to criticism, you have to take up space and take up time and assume that like you are worthy of people's attention, right? All these things are hard. I'm like a very non-confrontational person at baseline, but that actually was like not helping me and not helping other people because people would upset me and I wouldn't tell them. And then of course, because they upset me, I was upset and it would like affect our relationship. And I didn't tell them because I wanted to be nice and non-confrontational, but actually was like not being nice. Anyways, all these things are hard, right? but the ways that like I've made the relationships in my life like more meaningful and more like sustainable and enduring were difficult, right? Learning how to like focus and like spend time doing the things I want to do, like learning how to stream at all, right? Learning how to use this technology, learning all these things. That was not easy. It involved a lot of focus and a lot of frustration. Oh my God. You guys should see like the time I spent just like coming up with things to do and then scrapping it and coming up, practicing, singing. Oh my God, not easy. My throat hurts all the time. But it's worthwhile, I think. So, you know, things that are worthwhile are usually not easy. And so being able to do difficult things and persist in doing difficult things is, I think, an important skill or ability to have to be able to make a happy life for yourself. Yeah. I don't know. That was like a long pontification. Why did you guys, how did you get me on this topic? I was supposed to talk about like Warhammer and fountain pens. Why am I talking about the meaning of life? What in the world? How did I get here? I'm blaming you guys. This is your fault. This is not meant to be a serious stream. Anyways, worst of all, she had to learn how to deal with us. No, you guys are the best part, honestly. I will say, like, I feel like streaming for me has been what we would call a corrective emotional experience. Because I sort of anticipated like streaming and then having people be like, boo. Get off the stage. Go away. You're so weird. You're so lame and annoying. That's sort of what I imagined would happen. And I was braced for that. I was actually okay with that. But that didn't happen. So yeah, it's human nature to ponder our existence. This is very true. Da, ba, 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 ba. What is more successful, being a good person but not being able to hold a job versus being an evil billionaire that has a job but is obtained and maintained on the back of exploitation? I mean, I feel like it depends on your personal definition of success, but I think that one is definitely better than the other. This talk about the meaning of life is awesome. Well, I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Sir, oh, this isn't Cyrillic. I can't read Cyrillic, but I'm assuming this some kind of Russian. I think the kind of viewers you get really depends on the streamer you are and your chill. So chill people like being here. That's nice. I'm glad that I attract chill people. Am I chill though? I don't know that I've exhibited a lot of chill on the stream so far, but you know, I try my best. Because you mentioned you like crafts and then went to parents forcing hobbies and the responsibility of yes. This is true. This is fair. I think like talking about parenthood and what it means to be a good parent is like, gets really close to talking about like, what does it mean to be a good person? And then what does it mean to live a good life and all that stuff? What's your favorite Warhammer 40k faction? It's so funny because this actually might also get into a discussion of the meaning of life. My favorite Warhammer faction is Necrons. I love the Necrons. They're so cool. I noticed when streamers are really positive and kind, they develop a kind community too. Wait, you didn't actually say that that applies to me, but I'm assuming you mean that because you are here. So thank you for the presumed compliment. You seem to be someone easy to talk to. I hope so. I try to be, you know. Well, first of all, it's like literally my job, but compared to other VTubers I've seen, you're very chill. I know a lot of VTubers who are freaks. Usually I'm chaotic in streams, but I'm chill here because you seem chill and serious. Am I chill and serious? Yes, Necrons, I love my robot boys. Yes. Am I chill and serious? I don't know if I'm that chill or that serious. I guess maybe I'm like a chill and serious internal person, like internally deep down, but then the way I express myself is not necessarily that chill or that serious. Positive and kind, huh? Okay, I send myself out. Big dog, You are positive and kind also. You are a big source of positive and kindness here. Chill as in like you don't attract drama and all that. Oh, that's true. That's fair. Yes, at least in my opinion. Okay. I guess I'm a very chill and serious person. Guys, I have to be chill and serious. I'm not making fun of you, I promise. I find it fascinating when people tell me what they perceive of me, because my self-perception is so off all the time. It's always wrong. But I'm always so surprised when people are like, oh, you seem smart. I'm just like, me? I'm a dumbass. You are chill and serious with a scatterbrained twist. It's a nice combo. Actually, scatterbrained is the right word for it. Yes. ADHD. Necrons. Okay, wait. To briefly talk about Necrons. So, the Necrons are the faction that I play in Warhammer. And I think they're cool because their default color scheme is like black and green. So they remind me of one of wait, this is what's her name? Oh my god. The evil robot lady from Hot Wheels Acceleracers. What is her name again? Galorum. Yes. Okay, she reminds me of the Necrons the Necrons remind me of her. Okay, Galorum. And honestly, what is her faction even called? The Racing Drones. Okay, well, the Racing Drones is a very boring name for a faction, but you're still like chilling, whatever, nonchalantly sends bits. Oh, so nonchalant. Oh, thank you for the bits. Thank you for the bits. My favorite little one. You're also Lev's favorite little one, but obviously I don't supersede Yaimiko, so. Very specific. Look, it's just like, I don't know why, but Hot Wheels Acceleracers, that one. This is a hell of a deep cut. Look, I don't expect anyone else to know what the fuck I'm talking about when it comes to Hot Wheels Acceleracers, but Hot Wheels Acceleracers, I think I did have a crush on one of the drivers. The one, Kurt, I think his name was Kurt. The one that has a lot of man pain. Like, it was very neurotic and has a lot of man pain, that one. And the one that has like a brotherly situation going on. That one was my favorite, I think. No, wait. Was Kurt the main character? Am I thinking of someone else? Okay, whatever. Anyways, the bad guys in Hot Wheels Acceleracers, the direct-to-DVD movies, is like, they're like drones that are like black with green glowing bits, right? Like black metal, like armor plates, and then everything inside is green and they look like Xboxes, you know, like an Xbox 360, like that. And I love that. I just think that color scheme is so cool, you know? It's like oh my god, how could I forget her name? She's so hot. The evil girl in Kim Possible. Oh, I know her. I know. How did I forget that? I definitely was. I know this. I watched Kim. What? Oh god, this is gonna bother me until I remember. But in any case, like that, yes. I will say the name is not as hot as she is. Yeah, it's unfortunate. She should have a different name. But yes, like that color scheme is so cool. So I love the color scheme. And then Necrons also are just interesting. The Necrons are just such an interesting concept because basically millions and millions of years ago, there was a race of people. They weren't humans, technically. They were called Necrontyr. But race of people who basically die really young, typically, and they're like a warmongering type people. So imagine like Spartans, except also the war boys from Fury Road. Like they're basically the war boys from Mad Max Fury Road, you know, like we're gonna get like horrible cancerous tumors and die young, so we might as well die while fighting, sort of a thing. And war is the only thing that has meaning, sort of a thing. So those are like, they were like biological people. And then blah, 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 war with the gods, blah, 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 war with the gods. And then other gods that are also kind of evil gods kind of give them like a devil's bargain of like, we could help you live forever. And then the monkey's paw curls. And it's like, the way that you live forever is that your consciousness gets put into a robot, basically. So they're like robot people. Except they used to be people. And you can't make more of them because consciousness is not something that you can just create. So there are always going to be fewer and fewer Necrons tomorrow than there were yesterday, because they can like regenerate themselves to a degree, but you know, not really. And so it's very interesting. Does the name Vesper fit her character? You mean Shigo? Yeah, I think so. She does sound more like a Vesper. Yeah. Don't forget the magic space frogs. Look, the magic space frogs are a whole other thing that I can't explain right now. Is that why you chose more green in your model design? Ah, that's a good question. I don't think so. Basically, angry teenagers and robots that are at war, kind of. Except now they're like 60 million years old. And then they've been conscious as robots for like thousands of years. Because then they also like went to sleep, basically, and like hibernated for 60 million years and then have come out again and are like, oh my god, I'm time to retake the galaxy. So anyways, I think they're so cool. Because it's like metaphor for dementia, you know? Metaphor for like, what does it mean to be human? Like one of the coolest concepts to me is that like since the biotransference is what it's called, like since they got turned into robots with consciousness of human beings that were killed, I like they have this concept of like forgetting that you are not human anymore, or forgetting that you're not like a biological anymore. So like forgetting that you don't need to breathe, forgetting that you don't feel pain anymore, forgetting that you don't have like a physical face, right? It's so interesting. It's so good. Like I was reading a Necron book and they were talking about like, oh, he, you know, what was it? Like, it was like, oh, he felt his heart skip a beat. And then he remembered he didn't have a heart anymore. And then that like led to a whole thing. And so they can also kind of like lose their minds, like dementia-y, because obviously their brains are not meant to be inside of a robot. Oh, the Necrons are super arrogant. Yes, they are. It's actually hilarious. Like if you aren't in their system, you basically are beneath dirt. Yes. You know what they call humans? The unclean. It's really funny, I think, because they just think anything biological is unclean. I really should read some Necron books, and don't forget the flare virus. Yes. Yeah, no, the flare virus is basically there's a way that some Necrons will lose their minds, and one of those ways is they basically it's like you go crazy and also want to eat meat, but you are a robot and you can't eat. So then you're just shoving putrid flesh into your faceplate. Yes. Who is the best Necron and why? Is it Tress in the Infinite? I haven't read The Infinite and the Divine yet, which is where that character is, I think, delineated. I've been reading The Twice Dead King. So right now Ultix, I'm very fond of him. He's such a teenager, it's hilarious. But yeah, you should read Necron books. I think Necron books are awesome. Biggest complaint about 40k's Lizardmen got the shaft from the traditional game. Oh, that's true. I will say, okay, so Warhammer has a lot of different like, how do I explain this? There's like different types of Warhammer. Does that make sense? It's almost like the MCU is a thing, like in the same way Warhammer is like a thing. And then there's like the Avengers series, and there's like Spider-Man as a series, you know? It's the same thing like that. Like it's all the same universe, but they're like different things. So there's Warhammer 40k, which is like the most popular version, but there is like older one. There's ones that are based on like an older period of time, like Age of Sigmar. And that's more like fantasy-esque as opposed to like space opera-esque. And oh my god, those models are so pretty. Like person doing water magic and then riding a wave of water, and there's electricity and swords and stuff. I was like, oh, it's so cool. So if you want like magic shit that like looks really magical, Age of Sigmar, those models are so pretty. 40k, it's a lot of robots and armor and armored robots and armored space marines. Oh my god, the space marines. I refuse to main anything space marine related because I just think armor is boring. Fantasy is still the best. I agree. I think fantasy is really fun. So yeah, that's my thing about Warhammer 40k. I really enjoyed it. Oh wait, I could show you guys if I can find it. Actually, I might not be able to find it in time to put it on the screen, but there's basically Warhammer, which is D&D, but just the combat. Then 40k is the grimdark, heavy metal, cosmic horror, doom future. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the different age, I think the different like eras have different rules for their war game part. But yeah, it's like you paint these miniatures and there's this like whole universe, and you're basically like playing you're just playing as you're playing a war game, you know? It's like I have these units and then they shoot and then they do this, you know? It's great. One of the coolest things about 40k is the way the warp is both a means of space travel and the source of magic. Psychic powers. Yeah, it reminds this is so terrible. It reminds me of the way that I think Kurt, the Nightcrawler, God, what is his last name? I forget what Kurt's last name is, but Nightcrawler from X-Men, I think the way that he teleports is similar. And also, Magic, I would think is also in it from X-Men. Is her name Magic? The character that Anya Taylor-Joy plays in, New Mutants? Is that what it's called? Anyways, they both involve some sort of like alternate universe type situation. That's where they like draw their power from. It's a pretty common thing. Wagner, yes, yeah, Kurt Wagner, Nightcrawler. Like I'm pretty sure the way that his powers work involve going into an alternate dimension and then teleporting out of there. Like that's how he's teleporting, and also why when he teleports it smells like sulfur. Maybe I'm making this up. I might be making this up, but I feel like this is the case. I'm a DC kid, can't help you. Rude. I mean, I'm both, I think. Like, I'm such a normie. I don't know. My favorite DC character is always going to be Batman. And I think my favorite Marvel character is always going to be Spider-Man. Can't help it. I'm sorry. I'm just a normie. Like, Batman is just so good. Okay, Batman is the best. So, anyways, we've talked about Warhammer. I need to fulfill my promises and talk about fountain pens. Fountain pens. Magic, also known as Ilyana Rasputin. Yes, that, like, Rasputin. That one. Everyone's favorite comic character is Batman. Well, that's not true. That's definitely not true, because there's a lot of people out there who think that, who have told me to my face that I am a normie for liking Batman. So presumably they mean that they don't like Batman the most. which I think is wrong. I think Batman is one of the best characters. I think Batman is like a character that you can kind of do anything with. Hulk is also, I don't know. I feel like Alan Moore's Swamp Thing run and Immortal Hulk are two like just really, really good like redos of those characters. I don't know. I just think they're fun. Pen, yes. Okay, my fountain pens. So I have a lot of fountain pens right now, but they're mostly like cheaper ones, like lower tier, not lower tier, introductory pens. I think fountain pens are so much fun because you can like use your own ink for them. Yeah, you can like put your own ink into them. You can fill them with your own ink. And so you can have like such fun colors, but like with the same pen that you like, which I think is really cool. And fountain pen inks come in all sorts of different like colors and like sheeniness and stuff. Like some of them have like shimmer in them, which I think is fun. I have very boring colors. I just have like flat, normal versions of colors, no weird sheeniness, no shimmeriness, no nothing. But I don't know, it's just it's nice. It's also nice to have a pen like, because it's reusable. Obviously it's like refillable. You're meant to use it for a really long time. That's why like vintage fountain pens are a thing. So like I could have these pens with me for years and years and years and years and years, and I'm not going to be throwing pens away when I use them up, which is also really nice and sustainable. And it means that you can put more money into the pen that you buy. So you can buy a pen that like fits your hand really nicely and has a nice body to it and has a nice weight to it, which is really nice. And okay, and then the last thing is that like I'm weirdly, I didn't realize this, like tactile things, I both really enjoy tactile things and I'm also really picky about tactile things. So like how do I put this? So like I like when something is physical, like it has an analog thing. Like, no. Wait, what am I saying? What am I trying to say? Oh, okay. So I like things that have like analog components to them, you know, like I like a pen that has a clicky. I like something that has like a very satisfying, like a thunk, you know, and I like the feeling of writing with a pen, but it has to feel right. So like there's so many pens out there, I'm like, it's too smooth or it's too scratchy. I don't like it to be too smooth or too scratchy. I don't like the line to be too big, to be too thick, because then you can't like, I don't know, it just feels messy. But also it can't be too thin because then it gets scratchy again, and I don't like that feeling. But I also don't like things being so smooth, like the feeling like you're writing on glass. Hate that. My handwriting just goes fucking everywhere. So like I don't know what it is about fountain pens, but for whatever reason, when I write with a fountain pen, my handwriting looks the way I want it to look, more effortlessly. Does that make sense? Like I have like 4 different kinds of handwriting depending on how I decide to write. Like I can write in very, very neat and distinct, like sans serif, like Comic Sans-esque, maybe not Comic Sans, but you know what I mean, like print neatly font writing. I can do that. It just takes a lot of effort because you have to separate all of the letters and you can't like connect them together, and so it takes longer to write and it's harder on my hand, but it looks nice, I guess. It's not how I naturally write, but then the way I naturally write is like a sort of like half print, half cursive sort of script. And if the pens are too smooth, if the pens are so whatever, then it just ends up looking weird. It just ends up looking weird. And for whatever reason, fountain pens make my handwriting look nice, and I like it. So yeah, I've gotten into fountain pens. It just feels nice. I just like that it feels nice. That's why I like mechanical keyboards too, because it adds like tactility to typing. The name drop of Alan Moore Swamp Thing and Immortal Hulk proves you ain't a normie. Well, I mean, that's purely because of the influence of the people around me. I wouldn't have found that on my own, but yes. Would I say you're an autistic near encyclopedia? No. But also, you don't spend all your time reading. That's true. I lose pens way too much to ever get a fountain pen. That is very fair. I would not use fountain pens in the hospital. I have no idea what she's talking about, but I enjoy that she's enjoying it. Look, they're just cool, okay? And you can like refill them, which is fun. Like you like use droppers and stuff. I don't know. It feels very it's very satisfying, even though I get ink all over my hands. Speaking of fonts, which sans serif font would you recommend do you think is best for elderly and other people who have eye issues? So this is my personal opinion. I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert on this, okay? But I feel like I have a couple of ideas in terms of what's better for like more readable fonts. I actually personally think that serif fonts are easier for people to read often. Depends on how much text someone needs to read, but often it's easier because the distinguishing between letters is easier. Like that's basically the thing, is that like you want there to be less effort in distinguishing words. So there's like a font for dyslexic people, like a dyslexia font, I think is literally what it's called, that I think is probably quite good. I don't necessarily like the way that it looks, but functionally it works really well. Otherwise, basically, just nothing that is like too bubbly, because then it just looks like a series of bubbles and it's hard to read. And don't use monospace fonts, because monospace fonts are also often really hard for people to read because it just doesn't work with how our brains naturally process words. And monospace is like fonts where every letter takes up the same amount of space. So like every 4-letter word is as long, it takes up as much space as every other 4-letter word, right? Whereas normally different letters take up different amounts of space depending on how wide the letter is when you write it. Ironically, Comic Sans is really good. That's the thing. Comic Sans is overused, quote unquote, because it's very readable. It's very readable. It's not the prettiest font, but it's very readable. I think it's good for dyslexia too, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Thanks for the info. You're welcome. I have a lot of thoughts about fonts. I like fonts. I like choosing fonts. And if you're asking me my preference, I think like a retro-y fonts are really fun. Where like the downstrokes, like the vertical parts are very thick. What do you mean it's not the prettiest font? It's gorgeous. I don't think it's the prettiest font. I don't think it's as ugly as people say it is though, Comic Sans. I think it's just like a bit overused. I really like Times New Roman. I do like Times New Roman a lot. I think Times New Roman is super, super solid. I think Times New Roman is a super solid font. It should be used more often. Write all official papers in Comic Sans. Got it. I mean, you can. No one's stopping you. It might not like give off the vibe of being super official, but you know, maybe that's the point. And in that tension, you have created art. Book Antiqua is my favorite. I do like that one as well. I think Fredoka is really good for like VTubing stuff. That's the one that I tend to use for like titles and things like that. We all know the best font is Papyrus. Sarcasm marker. Okay, yeah, please, not Papyrus. Ryan Gosling would have a conniption. Yeah, not Papyrus. Oh my god. I mean, it works for some situations. It's just used a little too often. Again, like Comic Sans. Okay, I need to like look again. What did I put in here? 40k, fountain pens, planners. Oh, I did talk about planners. I talked about fountain pens. Oh, I was going to swatch my inks while I was talking and I totally forgot that I was planning on doing that. I also totally forgot I was planning. So I'm weird, okay? I'm a little bit of a collector. I've inherited this from the people that I surround myself with, namely my husband. He loves collecting things. I've been made sick of Times New Roman. My private school having everything typed set to Times New Roman. Now it's only Impact. And Who Framed Roger Rabbit font for me? Who Framed Roger Rabbit font? What font are you talking about? Oh, you know what font I love using? The Butcher Vanity font. It's really fun. Yeah, the Butcher Vanity font is it's really fun to use. I think it's called like Stay Puffed or something. Anyways, I'm going to... Montserrat is really good for captions, IMO. I believe that. I'm like not so familiar with fonts that I would know that off the top of my head, but I believe that. Ugh. Okay. I'm taking out a fountain pen that I cleaned and I would like to fill with an ink that I haven't tried. Like TikTok captions. Ah. That's a good point. I've never like... like really thought about what a good font for TikTok captions would be. But probably, because the thing is, you want something that's like very readable but not too formal, right? Oh shit, I got ink on my hands again. All right. Sorry, I was like, I am very weird and I like to fill my pens as full as possible. I don't like when there's air in the cartridge. I actually don't know if that makes me weird, but it does make me like maybe more wasteful than other people, because I don't know if I'll use up all this ink, but anyways, I have this fountain pen and I filled it with an ink that I've never used before because I have more inks than I have fountain pens. Ooh, it's working very nicely. It's a purple ink. You know the red and white font from the poster for Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I think I know what you're talking about. I just like don't totally remember it. Okay. Oh my god, I'm uncomfortable. I say that because it looks good when you put an outline on it. It doesn't make it less readable. It has this casual vibe. That's true. Like you have to put, yeah, like you said, you have to put outlines on captions, like for TikTok and stuff like that. Otherwise, you literally can't read it because the color changes so much. Silly Billy, hello. Hi, pretty lady. Hi. Hi, Sibby. I hope you're doing well. You're catching me at the tail end. I'm coming up onto my 2-hour, I'm about to poof into a pumpkin limit. How are you? I'm good. Thank you so much for asking. Yeah, no, I'm really, really good. Yes, I'm about to poof into a pumpkin. I'm sorry. All right. I'm trying to find someone to jump into, to raid into. Is there anyone that I don't... Because I really need to pee. Is what... Oh, I think think I follow this person on. Oh, the vibes are the same. Okay, someone else. I think she also is Hirin. Okay, but she also has like horns with flowers. Okay, so we're rating. Please. We're reading Cinnababan. Please. Go piss, girl. I know I need to go piss. I need to pee, so I need to rate out before I finish. Oh, okay, guys, I love you. I love you so much. The vibes are very similar. Tell her I said hi and that I'm very, very sorry that I can't come into the raid because I need to pee so bad. But I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here. Have a lovely day. I will try to stream as soon as I can now that I have figured out how to get my streaming set up to work properly and all that stuff. What raid message? Hello, fellow flower girl, tree person. All right. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys so much. Bye.